Have you ever noticed that anxiety never asks for permission? It doesn't kick the door down. It doesn't arrive with an explosion. It arrives quietly, like a single drop of water falling into a perfectly still ocean. One thought, one message, one awkward silence, one tiny moment that should have disappeared in seconds. But it doesn't, because your mind grabs onto it. And before you even realize what's happening, you're imagining conversations that never happened, disasters that don't exist, and futures that haven't been written. How does one tiny thought become an entire storm? For years, I believed anxiety was something that attacked me. Like lightning, random, unpredictable, impossible to understand. But I was wrong, because anxiety doesn't attack. It travels, slowly, quietly. It pulls you farther away from reality, one invisible wave at a time. I call those waves the 7 oceans of an anxious mind. The frightening part? Most people don't even realize they've left the shore until they can no longer see it. So before we begin, I want you to ask yourself one question. How far from the shore am I? The first ocean, the whisper. Every storm has a beginning. Not with thunder, with silence. For me, it usually started with something unbelievably small. A friend replying, "Okay," a message left unread, someone looking serious for just a second longer than usual. Nothing more. Moments most people would forget before lunch. But my brain treated them like emergencies. One tiny uncertainty became one dangerous question. What if? What if they're upset? What if I embarrassed myself? What if something is wrong and I'm the only one who doesn't know it? Here's what makes anxiety so convincing. It never starts with a lie. It starts with a possibility. And possibilities are impossible to disprove. So your brain keeps listening. Not because it wants to scare you, because it wants to protect you. Unfortunately, it can't always tell the difference between uncertainty and danger. That's why this ocean is so dangerous. It doesn't pull you under. It simply convinces you to step away from the shore. One step, then another, until you don't even notice you're drifting. Think about the last time you felt anxious. Not the panic, the beginning. Can you remember the whisper? Because every storm you've ever survived started there. The second ocean, the current. The whisper isn't what traps you. The story does. The human brain hates unanswered questions. So the moment uncertainty appears, it starts writing explanations. That unread message, they're ignoring you. That meeting tomorrow, you're about to lose your job. That awkward conversation, they'll never respect you again. Notice something? Your mind speaks like it already knows the ending. But it doesn't. It's guessing. And the more it guesses, the more convincing the story becomes. I remember lying in bed one night, replaying a conversation that had lasted less than 2 minutes. By morning, my brain had turned it into a disaster movie. Friendships ruined, careers destroyed, people disappointed. None of it had happened. Yet my body reacted as if every scene were real. That's what the current does. It doesn't force you forward. It convinces you you're choosing the direction yourself. One thought becomes 2. 2 become 10. Then suddenly you're no longer thinking. You're drifting. Pause. So far, nothing has actually happened. No disaster, no rejection, no proof, only a story. Then why does your heart already feel different? Because once the mind believes the story, the body begins acting like it's true. And that's where the real storm begins. The third ocean, the storm. Your heart starts racing. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your shoulders tighten. Your stomach twists. Every muscle quietly prepares for a danger that isn't there. It's strange, isn't it? Your body doesn't ask whether the threat is real. It simply reacts. And then something even stranger happens. Your mind notices your racing heart and says, "See, something must be wrong." Now the body is frightening the mind, and the mind is frightening the body. A perfect loop. Like standing inside a hurricane, you accidentally created yourself. I remember sitting completely alone one afternoon. The room was silent. Nothing bad had happened. No emergency. No phone calls. No bad news. Yet my heart was beating so violently, I genuinely believed something was medically wrong. I checked my pulse, then checked it again, then searched my symptoms online. Every answer made me more afraid. Every fear made my body react even more. I wasn't searching for the truth anymore. I was searching for confirmation of a story anxiety had already written. That's when I realized something terrifying. Your brain doesn't need real danger to create real fear. It only needs a believable story. And once your body believes that story, logic becomes quieter, fear becomes louder. Because storms don't care what you know, they care what you believe. The fourth ocean, the abyss. Eventually the storm grows quiet, not because it's over, because it's become something worse. Certainty. This is where anxiety stops asking what if. Instead, it whispers, this is exactly what's going to happen. One mistake becomes proof your future is ruined. One delayed reply becomes abandonment. One awkward moment becomes your entire identity. The mind stops imagining possibilities. It begins predicting disasters. I remember staring at my ceiling one night, absolutely convinced that my future had already fallen apart. Nothing had happened. Nothing. Yet I could already feel myself mourning a life I hadn't even lived. That is the abyss. It's where anxiety becomes so convincing that reality never gets a chance to speak. And that's the cruelest trick anxiety ever played on me. It convinced me that thinking harder would finally save me. Instead, it pulled me into the deepest trap of them all, a place where millions of people spend years without ever taking a single step forward. The fifth ocean, the whirlpool. There's something terrifying about a whirlpool. It doesn't pull you under all at once. It simply keeps you going in circles. That's exactly what anxiety does. It convinces you that one more thought will finally bring clarity. So you replay the conversation, again and again. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe they misunderstood me. Maybe I ruined everything. You aren't looking for answers anymore. You're looking for certainty. But certainty is a destination anxiety never lets you reach. I remember standing in the shower one evening. The water had turned cold. I didn't notice. For nearly 30 minutes I had been replaying a conversation that lasted less than 60 seconds. I imagined different replies, different endings, different versions of myself, none of them real. And then I caught myself doing something strange. I was arguing with someone who wasn't even there. That's when it hit me. I wasn't living my life anymore. I was editing it, like a filmmaker who keeps changing the script, but never releases the movie. Here's the trap. Rumination feels productive. It whispers, keep thinking. You're almost there. One more hour. One more possibility. But tell me something. Have you ever solved anxiety by thinking longer? Or did you simply become more exhausted? And eventually thinking turns into something even worse. Not panic. Not fear. Stillness. The sixth ocean. Dead water. Imagine a ship floating on perfectly calm water. No waves. No wind. No storm. At first it looks peaceful. But hours pass, then days, then years. The ship never sinks. It simply never moves. That's what anxiety became for me. Not constant panic, constant hesitation. One email sat in my drafts for 3 days, not because I didn't know what to say, because I was terrified of saying the wrong thing. One opportunity became 20 different decisions, each one needing more research, more preparation, more certainty. Until eventually, I made no decision at all. And that's when I realized anxiety had quietly changed its strategy. It no longer needed to scare me. It only needed to make me wait. Tomorrow, when you're ready. After you think a little more. Tomorrow became next week. Next week became next year. The years disappeared not because life was impossible, but because fear had convinced me that standing still was safer than moving forward. That realization hurt more than every panic attack combined, because anxiety hadn't only stolen my peace, it had stolen my time. Think about this. Ships are safest when they're anchored in the harbor, but they were never built to stay there. Neither were you. The seventh ocean. Exhaustion. No one warns you about this ocean, because it doesn't look dramatic. There's no racing heart, no panic attack, no tears, just silence. Your mind finally stops racing. Not because it found peace, because it's too tired to keep running. I remember lying in bed one afternoon staring at the ceiling. Not asleep, not awake, just empty. People looked at me and said, "You seem calm." If only they knew, I wasn't calm. I was completely out of fuel. It's the kind of tiredness sleep can't fix. The kind that settles inside your thoughts, inside your chest, inside your soul. For a long time I thought this was the end. I thought this numb version of me was the real me, but I was wrong, because something happened that changed everything. Not overnight, Not because I found the perfect solution, because I finally understood what anxiety had been trying to do all along. The shore. For years I believed anxiety was my enemy, something to defeat, something to eliminate. But after crossing all 7 oceans, I realized something I wish someone had told me much earlier. Anxiety wasn't trying to destroy me. It was trying to protect me. The problem was that it couldn't tell the difference between real danger and imagined danger. To an anxious brain, an unread message can feel just as threatening as a tiger standing in front of you. Your brain isn't broken. It's ancient. It's trying to keep you alive, using rules that were written thousands of years ago. And the moment I understood that, I stopped fighting every wave. Instead, I learned to sail through them. I learned to notice the whisper before it became a storm, to question my thoughts instead of automatically believing them, to take one small step before waiting to feel fearless. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's refusing to let fear decide your direction. Maybe while watching this you recognized yourself. Maybe you're still caught inside one of these oceans. If you are, please remember this. You don't have to cross all 7 today. You only have to face the one you're in. One honest conversation, one deep breath, one small decision. That's all. Because healing doesn't happen in one giant leap. It happens one wave at a time. The beautiful thing about oceans is that no wave lasts forever. Every storm runs out of rain. Every tide eventually turns. And maybe that's what hope really is. Not believing that storms will never come again, but knowing that the next time they do, you'll recognize the whisper before it becomes the ocean. Because you're not lost anymore. You know the way back. You know where the shore is. If this journey helped you understand your own mind a little better, consider staying for the next one. This channel is for anyone who wants to understand the psychology behind the thoughts that quietly shape our lives. And before you leave, tell me in the comments, which ocean are you sailing through right now? You might be surprised by how many people are standing on the same shore. Remember that crossing these oceans doesn't mean the waves will never return. It means you'll never fear them the same way again. Every time a whisper appears, you'll recognize it for what it is, an ancient protection system doing its best with outdated information. With practice, you'll learn to pause, breathe, and choose one small courageous action instead of drifting further out to sea. The shore is always closer than anxiety wants you to believe. You are not broken, you are not weak, and you are definitely not alone in this journey. Thousands are sailing these same waters right now, and every single person who decides to turn toward the shore makes the path brighter for everyone else. Your mind has protected you long enough. Now it's time to gently take the helm and sail toward the life waiting beyond the storm. Until next time, take care of your mind. It's been trying to take care of you all along.